Hey, I see string elements staying alive. I'm not seeing it yet. I guess I have to refresh. Yeah, there we go. I can also load the thumbnail to YouTube. Just the screen that I have right now. All right. Yep. Everything seems to be working. Oh, sorry. So it's been a while since I last live streamed. My last live stream was on the 27th, which is a Tuesday. So I haven't managed to. I I missed last week's weekly challenge, which was the Kira tanker, I believe. Don't think. Um, these might be new records. I didn't really get to check either what the records were last week. 114. That seems low. Yeah, because the Brutuses were doing 111. The fast Brutus, which I think is also the tanker. And the Kiras are lighter than the Brutus, I believe. But maybe the Kira tanker is slower because actually worse somehow in other aspects. So even though it has better power to weight ratio, still slower. Maybe the flatbed. I doubt people set new records with the flatbed though. The flatbed is the best one in terms of handling. Oh, it's also slow. Hmm. Regardless, I'll be doing that only if I have time, which I should have time for it, because this week we only have the Mixi, which I've already spent a lot of time for in this week, which is why I haven't managed to stream yet. Actually, spent a lot of time on these trucks over the past few days, along with my other builds. Yeah, that's why my rotator is over there. I worked on that. I did some work on it. I didn't spend much time on it compared to the Mixies. So this one, I guess we can start with this one. This is my original Mixie. Just very simple. I just put some colors on a different color on every section of the mixer. So you have a rainbow kinda circling around here. I don't like the light setup that I have on this right now. Not on the mixer at least. I do have the this light on the back for additional brake light and these lights on top for since it's a truck and then additional lights down here so that it's separate. to the high beam because the default lights in the game all light up at the same time, which is just the headlight, so it doesn't have a dedicated high beam light, which is the same thing I've done with my. Let me move this out of the way because I don't want to despawn it. So all of these mixer trucks have the same. How many pieces are those? 7 pieces of light? No, 8 pieces. One in the rear, two at high beams, and then 5 on the top. So I have 12 light attachments for the rest of the build. This doesn't have light attachment. Yeah, these other dump trucks, dumpies, I have pretty much the same thing, although I placed them differently. I don't know why I decided on this. Now that I can see this and this, I much prefer this one that I have here. It also has this, which is actually in a slightly different position than what I made on the Mixis, but also just like with the lights on top, I prefer having them positioned differently, like this. Oh yeah, and these trucks are not centered. So on this side, these lights are on -70, but on the other side it's 68. So this is also 70, 68. And then here, this is 76, but this is 73. And the one in the middle is -2, then 12 and 16. So we have a similar thing going on here. Oh yeah, I already changed this one. So here, this is 68 and 66. Then 21 -1 and 23. So I guess I'll just have to adjust my dumpies at some point. But yeah, the one in the workshop is this setup, which I honestly, if I remember correctly, I didn't really spend too much time thinking about this light setup. Because if I remember correctly, I also made this. I made this light setup during a live stream, unlike my lights on the Mixis, which I did off stream. So I get to spend. So it's like a different experience, kind of. And I ended up having different ideas and thoughts. And so I have this different setup, slightly different, only slightly. But yeah, I like this better. Not this one though, in the back. I'll have to think on that at some point. And then we have this truck, the B. Let me move this out of the way actually. Use the garage. Oh yeah, I realized recently, only recently, that even though I've been making a lot of builds ever since we got the, well, ever since I started playing really, and then eventually the workshop feature got added, and at the start, the workshop worked fine, but nowadays, or even for the past year really, I really should be pointing out the fact that all of my builds are original. Like, I don't download other people's build and then make changes to it and then upload them as my own. However, if you've been checking the workshop for long enough, you can see this is clearly unoriginal. A very low 4-digit number, 2797. But my B Mixi is not. It's 5 digits. And if you browse the workshop far enough, you're gonna find other B design that are like this one. That's pretty much, you can clearly see that that is the exact same design as mine because that's been downloaded off of mine, and then he just changed the decals a bit. In fact, you can clearly see these two are next to each other. He made this, and then I guess he found in the workshop my build, so he downloaded it and then applied some changes to it. So yeah, obviously not original, but yeah, going back to my point, if you go far enough in the workshop, you're actually going to find my design with a lower number. And that's because this is not actually the original. This is, but I still made the original. It's just not this one. The original, the actual original is no longer in the workshop because I uploaded it sometime, I think at the start of last year or maybe even towards the end of it. And last year, I think in February, maybe even March, the dev had some kind of data issue, so he had to restore old data from December, which meant that anything uploaded after that restore point is no longer there. But I didn't remember, during that time, I didn't remember that I uploaded my Mixi build during that window that got removed. So it was only months later that I realized I need to upload my version again. And by that point, there's already so many people who had downloaded the original and then uploaded it because mine is no longer there, or they just wanted to upload it for some reason. But yeah, all, at least so far, everything that I've uploaded to the workshop are original. I make them all from scratch, and I take a long time making them. That's why my designs are, my decals are precisely placed. You can say, like, you have details. I guess not on this drop. You have certain details where, oh yeah, this thing, it lines up. Oh wait, no, that's just the polygon. But yeah, you can clearly see this shape fits right inside the space. Like, I can't make it any bigger. Well, maybe only slightly. There's still a little bit of space down here. But then this shape also, fits right next to this one, but it doesn't get blocked by this black piece. And then obviously you have this line here, and then the other build, this one, you can clearly see everything is as precisely lined up as I could make them. So this takes many hours. Although actually recently noticed, I don't know if, no, it can't be an update that broke it. So I must have just never noticed it. Yeah, this thing, because it's underneath here. I never noticed this, that there's a little bit of blue leaking down here. Because it's hard to see that. Also, this line here doesn't quite match up. But I'm pretty sure that's just because of the model itself is not actually mirrored perfectly. Because on if you look on this side, it does line up. And the decal on this side is just a mirror of what's on this side. Not using the decal mirror feature, but it's like a copy, but just placed on the other side. Uh, and I managed to do that by using the opposite side check mark. So it's the same. It's one decal rendered on the same side, but I managed to have a different color on the other side by having the opposite side checked. So yeah, I need to, since I'm making all original builds, I need to come up with a way to let people know that, yeah, everything I'm posting or uploading to the workshop is made originally by me. But also, I've started, I've, I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I only managed to start doing this year. I've started reaching out to other people who make builds so we can build stuff together because it's just gonna allow us to make better builds that way, I guess. Was one way to say it. It depends on every player that I asked to work with really on what's gonna be different. But yeah, since I'm gonna be doing that, I'm gonna kind of like with my builds, I need to make sure people know it's originally made by me, and also for those builds that I'm planning to make with other people, I need to make sure that they also get credited somehow. Hey Invictus. Anyway, back to my build. So this thing, the Mixi, I changed the light on top. My original, well, not original, but my version 2 here in the workshop has these antennas, because these have antennas. But I browsed the workshop and saw that, oh, at the very front, we already have a re a kind of re-upload of my build. Oh, you found the issue. Nice. So you have no more issues then? So I was browsing the workshop for ideas on what to make on a Mixi, even though I already have 4 Mixi designs here. I'm always looking for ideas. Oh, what the heck? Why does this one have my light attachments on it? It doesn't even belong to this design. Anyway, I was browsing the workshop and I found someone who uploaded my design, but instead of the antennas, oh, even this guy put antennas. Oh, and they gave it eyes. That's what it was. I saw that, but I didn't think it was eyes at first when I saw this last time, because all of these black bits around it is messing with it. But yeah, that's clearly an eye. But yeah, I was browsing the workshop and I saw someone upload a version of my build. Yeah, this one. It has these lights on top. It's not quite placed exactly where I have it right now, I don't think. I don't think he's the original uploader of this though, because I kept browsing after seeing this, and I saw a bunch more that has the lights on top. So, but yeah, regardless of that, the original design is mine anyway. And as much as I like to credit the person who decided to replace the antennas with this thing, because obviously the antenna has that round thing at the end of it, and I do think this looks better. I can't credit him because I don't know who the original uploader is. Yeah, we really need a different workshop. I don't know why the dev decided to make an in his own version of an in-game workshop when there's a Steam workshop already. But I don't know the technicalities of all these things. Some people say that it would have been so much easier if the dev just used the Steam workshop, but I don't know about that because game development isn't so simple. But yeah, I have seen Steam Workshop in some games. I haven't browsed too much of it, but yeah, it does look like it's a really good system already. So if we just use the Steam Workshop for this game, it would have been so much better. We won't have issues like this where people are basically just stealing other people's designs. You can never tell who the actual creator of what you're looking at is. But yeah, so that's one change that I did. I replaced the antennas. And then obviously the lights in the back are different now. So originally I just placed these lights because these are the easy way to place the lights back in the day because we didn't have the menu yet. Although this is adjusted through the menu already because like I said, this is no longer the original. But the original had the light around there as well. Also, I didn't have these rotating lights originally either. Instead, I had two layers of these lights, a green and a red. So it would have the red lit up by default, and then when I hit the brakes, the green light would also turn on and it becomes yellow. Twitch is saying 15 hours? What? Why would it say that? I haven't even done anything on Twitch the past for the past week. Where does it even say that? It's showing 24 minutes to me on the timer. So I don't know, that might just been maybe it has to do with time zone. It's adding a bunch of hours because we're in different time zone. Yeah, that has to be a time zone thing then. But yeah, that's one thing I changed. So I have these hexagon shaped lights around the mixer now. But the original thing that I made is actually a smaller hexagon back here, which activates on with the brake light. So I didn't have this brake light at first, but then I started working on my other mixers, and those other mixers have a brake light here and a bunch of other lights. So I went back on this and completely reworked it. Oh yeah, I also had a small hexagon around this guy, just like in the back. Yeah, you can see the same B back here. But then I didn't like the lights back here because it was still kind of like this, where it's front to back lines, which doesn't match the striping. So I removed the hexagon here, removed the front to back lights here, and removed the hexagon back here, which allowed me to add the same lighting my other mixes have, but only be able to have three, I no, not three, two hexagons on, and I decided I'd place them here at the front and somewhere towards the back. So this light is, since lights pass through surfaces in this game, well, not all lights, but the light attachments does. They don't cast shadows. Since these lights pass through, it lights up the B inside the mixer. Wait a minute, where's my light? Here. Oh yeah, this one doesn't have that because it has these already at the top. These are the high beams. So that's my new light setup on this. This one is very easy, but like I said, I don't like this anyway. Like I just place these. Since the way a light's attached now, if you're if you attach directly to to a surface, it matches the rotation that way. So all I had to do was change the location. It already gave me the correct rotation on this one. So this was easy to make, but I don't like it. So I'm gonna probably gonna replace it at some point. Oh, and there's also the problem of the color of the light colors. Right now we can't see it because we're in daylight and the lights are off anyway. But once the lights are turned on, if I still had the lights match the color of the surface they're lighting, it would then shine on the opposite surface in here. So the lights inside here are gonna be all wrong. So what I have right now instead is just a weak, not weak, but I guess I can just click on them and see. So right now, oh yeah, the color I specifically picked is a color that matches the light itself. So it looks like it's just one color. But yeah, it's this, a very dim color. Just enough to make the colors visible at night. And to also make the inside of the mixer lit up. I can show it later once we're in the dark. For now, can move on to this. So you can clearly see all 12 light attachments went to those. This actually took a very long time to make. Because as you can see, these lights are not on the surfaces, on the flat surfaces. It's on the corners. So I had to figure out the rotation. And also, besides figuring out the rotation that matches the corners or the edges, I also had to figure out a way to make them a different rotation from each other so that when I turn them on, it looks like the lights are spinning around. So you can see they all have different uh faces. They're all facing a different direction. So it looks like it's spinning around. In fact, after just placing maybe 3 or 4 lights, that already took a long time because it was so hard to figure out. I even decided to try asking AI to figure out the rest of the rotation angles that I need, but it gave me horrible. It gave me useless rotation angles. I don't know what it was doing. Like it was telling me a bunch of stuff like gimbal locking and whatnot, which you'd think would make sense since that it would give me the correct rotation angle since it knows about those things that it has to consider. And yet it's giving me all the wrong rotation angles somehow, despite knowing everything that it needs to know. Like I don't even know about the technicalities of this all those things. I just know that it is a way to mathematically figure out. But yeah, it didn't work. The AI was couldn't figure out the correct rotation angles either. So this was all manually placed. I had to I had to place a bunch of lights first and then I guess if I turn it off, we can see it more clearly. Let's move this out of the way though, so we can more clearly see it. So you can see this thing is pointing to the left of the truck. This one is pointing to the left still, but slightly more forward. And then the next one, even it's it's pointing mostly forward now, but it's still pointing to the left or downwards now, since we're spiraling down the mixer. And then this one is just straight pointed straight forward. So yeah, it spins around the mixer like that. Whereas this one is much easier to make. Actually, no, this wasn't easy to make either. But it was much quicker for me to make this after I already made that because I pretty much just had to figure out the middle points of what I got and I already found the pattern of how to get the rotation that I need. So I just had to do a little bit of math. What is that? Just seeing this line here right now. Guess there's some wrong angle polygons over there. They kind of like over here. Anyway, yeah, these things took a really long time to make. So this thing has the same thing, except we have lights, smaller lights back here. So the lights here are also spins around. I can't have it spin the same direction as the mixer, because obviously the rotating light doesn't have a toggle to switch the direction that it turns around. I could flip it, but then the gray bit is gonna stick out. And I think it looks better this way anyway, to have it spin the opposite direction as the mixer. Especially because the decals itself is an opposite spin than what the mixer is spinning towards. So they're kind of like pulling each other. But yeah, so these are all four of my original mixers. Oh yeah, I changed the decals on this thing slightly. Being a concrete mixer, I put the Opal logo on it, but I don't know much about that company or if that even is a company. So I can't have their logo on my truck until I know what and until I know more about them. So I decided I I kept the logo itself, but not the rest of it. So you can't tell anymore what company it is just by look unless you know this logo. But yeah, this is the weekly challenge vehicle. So what time do I even want to take this to the track? Because the physics on this is very different when it's not loaded. And if and regardless of whether it's loaded or not, it's very top heavy. So it doesn't really make much sense to take it to the track. Oh yeah, one thing I thought we can try. Oh, why is my campy on the track? Yeah, it's very top heavy, which is the whole point of my build. It reduces it resists what do they call it? It's flip resistant. That's what I called it. The most flip resistant setup. In fact, I actually looked up my old recordings and made this short that I haven't made public yet. Why is that so loud to me? How do I get that? There we go. So this is how I tested the flip resistance of my Mixi back in the day. Oh, I just realized it doesn't show that it's loaded. Because it doesn't make sense for me to make and test the setup unloaded. Since if you're driving this thing, it's because you're transporting concrete. But this is loaded with concrete. And I would go around in circles here and constantly increase the speed until it flips over. So the suspension setup that can go the fastest is the most flip resistant setup. I believe 45 is the fastest. Yeah, 46 it starts to flip over, but you can catch it. It doesn't just flip over right away. Oh yeah, and I can't spawn it in here because then it won't be able to drive out. And I need to load it first. But yeah, I guess we can try unloaded for now, just to see. But there is a skid pad down here. Well, this whole place is a skid pad, really. But there's a cone in a circle around here. And you talk to this guy, not Connor.
Hello.
Talk to this guy, you can change the radius. So people call the guy selling cones as Connor, but they don't have a name for the other guy. The guy who sets up the cones here. So since I'm on mouse steering, oh what the heck? Oh yeah, this is why I haven't tested here. Because this place already existed back then. The problem here is the skid pad isn't flat. So it's useless for testing. Yeah, there it is. You can see a bump right there. Yeah, you can see the cone is floating here. It's not flat. So this is useless for testing. But maybe we can find a different area here that is flat. You can clearly see the truck moving around over the bumps. But yeah, since I'm on mouse steering, as long as I can get the steering that I need, it'll just keep going. Oh yeah, there's a bump right there. There's It's really bumpy right here. So yeah, this place is useless. Maybe over here? But then how do I figure out the radius that I need to be doing? Because I need a way to have a constant radius. No, it's bumpy right here. It's bouncing around again. Yeah, there's definitely a bump over there. Maybe here is big enough? Are these... Yeah, those seem to be completely flat. This is so small though. This is a small area. Yeah, this is much tighter. Where else can we test a big flat area that we can do circles around in? At Ansan Speedway? Or Unsun Ring? Surely this is completely flat. There's less references though on where I should be driving around. Like, I have this section on this side, but then here I don't have any reference on whether I'm still going the right place or not. So this is empty, and I'm able to go 45. Oh yeah, I can just do the test in a smaller circle, but the reason I want a big circle is because the higher the speed, the more precise we can get. Because with a small circle, I have to be slow. So every 1 kilometer faster that I go is gonna make a big difference compared to if I'm going in a big circle. I need to reduce my steering a little bit here and then increase it again. I'm also getting my usual stutter every 10 seconds in my single player, so maybe I should do this in multiplayer. But I'm not testing with a load anyway. So this is okay for now. Yeah, this seems to be around the same radius as my previous testing. I think I can go 50. Oh, I'm not in the same circle anymore. Because yeah, I was adjusting my speed in different places, so that messed with the circle. I'm still doing the same steering angle, so I guess that's fine. I'm starting to see a really slight skid mark at this speed, going fast enough to leave skid marks. Yeah, it's even darker now that I'm going at 50. It looks like it's about to flip over. Yeah, this is the problem when you're not loaded. The suspension is not compressed. It's too stiff for the current weight. Yeah, so it wants to flip over. It was still able to go faster though. Also, I left some floating skid marks doing that. Alright, let's fill up the truck. Oh, my company truck was there. Sometimes when I teleport near my company truck, they get disconnected from their trailers. Low on money, so once I finish the testing, I want something that I can deliver. Is there, I guess, yeah, I guess that's the closest, huh? They also all require 100. Does concrete get passively consumed? Oh yeah, there's also we can also test going to Guangjin. So I guess we may as well take the town. Wait. Oh yeah, the F1 site. There's a construction over there now as well. The town is still further away though. Oh yeah, and it pays way more. So that added nearly 14 tons. That's very heavy. Even though it's only 6 kiloliters, each one is 2.3 tons. Oh yeah, so our weight goes from 11 and a half. Yeah, it more than doubles the weight. 11 and a half goes up 25. Also, my campy is on opening the gate over there, but not this one. Should I have... can I pick up from here? This is the drop-off, right? I can unload. Yeah, I can't load from there. You can see when the suspension gets compressed, it goes through the fender. The wheels go through the fender now. And that is what allows this build to be very flip resistant. Because obviously, if your wheels are clipping through your fender, then your weight That means the truck is very low, and therefore the center of mass is very low, and the lower the center of mass, the less likely it will want to flip over, because that's the whole reason it even likes to flip over, is that the center of mass is very high. Oh, and I also mentioned earlier the fact that the truck isn't centered, like different parts of it are have different alignments. So my spacers on this thing are also unequal, which means technically if someone makes a flip resistant Mixi setup with maximum spacers all around, that build is gonna be more resistant to flipping over on the side that it has more spacers than my build. But the problem with that is if you're driving around, if you don't have equal balance on your left and right, then it's gonna throw you off and make you flip over. In fact, back in the day when I was testing the Dumpy, before we had the light attachment menu, that's the whole reason that made me realize these trucks are not centered properly. Because I kept flipping over, turning one side, but not the other. I noticed during testing. Even though I was being very careful, because I didn't know it was more resistant to flipping on one side. Every time I would turn the other side, suddenly it's not as resistant to flipping over anymore, so I would flip I would flip it. So yeah, well technically you can make it's possible to make a more flip resistant Mixi setup than what I made. It's only gonna be on one side that is more flip resistant, and it's gonna cause you to flip over more, even though it's more resistant, just by the sim just by the fact that it's gonna surprise you every time, unless you know if you somehow know how much you can turn on one side compared to the other. Because as you drive, you're gonna feel how much steering you can make without flipping. But if what you're feeling is different on each side, then that's gonna be useless information. Like you're not gonna figure out how much you can actually steer unless somehow your brain is able to process the two different balance in the two different directions. So if you have a close look at the wheels and the fender, my wheels line up the same on both sides, even though the spacers are different. and that gives my build equal balance compared to if you use a build that has equal spacers. You're always gonna flip over the other side that has that where the wheels stick out less because of the fact that stuff are not centered. Oh, and yeah, it applies to all of the trucks in this in the same family. So the dumpy, the mighty, and this thing. Is there one more? The compacti. They all have the same thing going on. The Tronco is not the same truck. It looks very similar, but it's different. So the Tronco doesn't have that issue. Alright, let's try this thing now. We're fully loaded. Oh yeah, and I have, since my character is on the left side of the truck, and your characters do add weight to the vehicles when you hop in, I put the extra fuel tank on the other side, on the right side, and the storage box, utility box on the left side because this is lighter than the fuel tank. So that helps balance out the weight of my character. At least that's the theory. I don't know if the center mass of the truck is actually centered or not. Because obviously if the truck already had a bit more weight to the right, then I can have the fuel tank on the left as well. And it will be balanced, but it's such a small difference anyway that it doesn't really have enough of an impact on the balance of the truck. So I need to get the truck in the correct position and then figure out the steering. Yeah, it's behaving very differently now that it's loaded. Okay, hopefully this is good. I'm not gonna drive into anything. Yeah, that seems good enough. We can slowly increase our speed. Oh, I should have moved the multiplayer first so that I don't have the stuttering. Oh well. Whoa, why is my radius so different suddenly? What? Oh, because the weight shifted now that I'm going faster. So this could mean if I try to go any faster, it might flip over then. Unless I reduce the steering. Yeah, I need to reduce the steering. This is too small of a circle now. Oh, and that changed the balance again, and now I'm doing a large circle again. Dang it. Hmm. So I'm also gonna need to adjust the steering in small increments. I tried to adjust it to give me the correct radius right away, but that was too much steering change. Oh, already hit something. That's fine. Body damage shouldn't have much of any effect anyway. Yeah, it drives so differently around 40 kilometers per hour. Because that's when it starts wanting to flip over, but it's still not flipping over. Hmm. How do I get this on the correct circle? I can definitely go faster and not flip over, but I need a consistent radius first before I try speeding up. I've been adding steering every time I'm on the going too wide. But before I start speeding up, I need to find the correct steering first. So obviously that's if I change the steering, then that's gonna mess with the test. It might be because of the stuttering, so I should go to multiplayer. This might be it. It's a good radius. You can see the tires are clipping through the fender on the left. Yeah, this seems to be good. Hopefully, when I speed up, it maintains the same radius. Oh, so I was only able to go up to 44, which matches what I thought, which is the fact that I'm doing a smaller circle than my old testing. Because this is the exact same build. I haven't changed anything since then. So now I guess we can try delivering to Guangjin town. Should be easy. Because even a stock Mixi can make it all the way to the town. And I know that because I've done it. And the terrain to the town is better now. Oh, this bus is going here. Dang it. Excuse me. This is why I have traffic turned off in my single player. Come on, keep backing up. Here we go. Still much faster than going all the way around. Oh yeah, I didn't get to show the lights in the dark yet. I can go really fast here, not flip over. I do have to slow down for this. Oh yeah, they changed the shortcut, the mud shortcut here. We can try the mud shortcut first, so that if I can't make it through, then I'll go the long way around. I have to go the long way around if I can't make it through anyway. Compared to if I go the GPS route right now and then drive down through the mud and then I can't make it back up. I have to go that way again. And I think this is the faster way to go anyway. It's just that the GPS wants you to take the shorter way, not the faster way. Almost flipped there, but I'm able to catch it very easily. But then I got distracted and didn't catch that one. Wasn't expecting it to start flipping over right after I caught it. But I guess it was unstable already. Oh yeah, I should adjust the brake bias. It's locking up the fronts. Yeah, I wasn't adjusting the brake bias earlier because I wasn't loaded yet. Now that I'm loaded, I should have adjusted the brake bias. Oh, that rock almost flipped me over. Wasn't expecting the hitbox on that thing to bounce me that much. Can I go straight through here? Not quite. Well, not even close, really. Why is the reverse so slow? The heck? Going downhill, but we can't even accelerate downhill somehow. Oh yeah, there's mud. Uh, the texture there doesn't look like it's mud, but it also has mud physics. I shouldn't have been that close to the side. Oh yeah, and here's our lighting now. You clearly see the bee inside. Can't really see the hexagon shape very much. We can't go up the left side here anymore. But we can go to the right now. Used to be the other way where you can't go to the right, but you can't go up to the left side. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, am I stuck? Yeah, this section here used to be too steep to go up on. In fact, the other side also was already very steep. It's just that some vehicles are still able to get enough speed up going uphill here that they can still make it over the steep section. Oh, I didn't quite make it up to the grass. Well, I think I'm stuck now. Yeah, it was definitely changed. It's very different now. There used to be a massive tree over here as well. That's not there anymore. In fact, there were two trees over there. Is this rock? No, that rock is fake. Doesn't have a collision. Okay, can I make it across now? No, that's still nowhere near enough momentum. Hmm. Oh, and there's even this wall here as well. Although we can still go drive over there. It's just that I can't even cross the mud. I need more speed. A lot more speed. Don't think I can make it through here. Unless I can actually drive up here somehow. That's very steep. You know what? I'm just gonna go pay the tow service. Yeah, if I can't get this thing up through here, then the Campy's probably not gonna make it either. Because the Campy is not the most off-road capable thing. Like this thing has at least four driven axles or four driven wheels in the back. Although I am loaded right now. Maybe if I'm not loaded, it's gonna be better than the Campy. Yeah, this is very steep. Yeah, there's no way I'm driving up here. My center of gravity is too high for this. Up the cliff? Going backwards up a cliff isn't gonna work on a rear-wheel drive because you're not gonna have grip on your driven axle. I need a lot of speed somehow to cross over to the other side. Across the mud backwards? Hmm, maybe. Let me try going forwards first with more speed. If I can even get more speed. Oh, well, I already flipped over. Oh, I'm on the mud. Dang it, that's not what I wanted to do. Can I still go back to the grass? I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, that's not happening. Alright, let's go back then. Oh yeah, I realized after working on this last time, after I already closed the game, I can achieve the same lighting with a lot less lights, at least on the front of the mixer. What can I do here? I'm gonna try the same thing, but I'm not gonna drive onto the mud section. Oh well, no, that doesn't work. Maybe up here instead. I just need like some kind of downhill start to get more momentum. Is what I'm trying to do, at least. No, that's still very steep. Alright, I'm gonna try the reverse thing. The problem is my gearing is not very good for the the low speeds that we're doing here. Because I need a lot of speed, but I can't go fast enough to really use my R2. But my R1 is not fast enough, I don't think. Oh, that was actually really good. I was just not quite lined up. Somehow I was able to get a lot of momentum in reverse. I'm still in the mud though. I need to make it further up where I'm gonna have grip. And I'm stuck, of course. There's no way I'm gonna make it here. And that's really far away. But maybe that's doable. Maybe I can go over there. Kinda doubt it. try anyways. Probably gonna need to go forward. Yeah, that's an uphill. Not gonna be easy. Maybe I can have enough speed. I'm going forward still, but I don't think I can go make any progress from here. I might have to go here in reverse as well, just to get my drive wheels up to the grass. 'Cause that's still a long ways. Actually, maybe I should start in R2. That's quite slow. Yeah, not even close. Maybe I should use sport mode so I have traction control. No, that's still really slow. It's just too steep, I think. I just lose all of my speed as soon as I hit the uphill. I don't think it's the body bottoming out that's slowing me down either. This thing has Even with my setup, it still has plenty of clearance, but that might be something to try. Can I maybe just scroll up, very slowly drive up? Well, maybe not from here though, because the problems is the sides of the mud have all those uphill polygons. So if I just stay where it's mostly flat, maybe I can slowly get up. Um, I need to be facing that way. We're moving very slowly. We're not really going the direction I need to go though. But we're making progress at least. Wiggling the the steering wheel seems to help somehow. Yeah, I'm moving quite a bit faster doing this. Still super slow, but can very clearly see progress at least. Is this the way? This might be, this might work. This might be the way to do this. Still making progress. I don't really have much control. I need to start turning somehow. Oh, I don't even need to wiggle here. I just need to make sure I don't drive into the side polygons, I think. That's where I'm gonna get stuck if I end up in a downward polygon. Is this gonna get steeper? Yeah, I'm slowing down now. Come on, we're almost there. Oh, my driver leveled up. Just a little more. It's still going forward, just super slow. Low on fuel now. Oh, I think the fronts are off the mud. Yeah, I'm able to go 1 kilometer per hour now. Okay, there we go. The rears are also out of the mud. So that worked somehow. Now, can we get past the next mud section though? Oh yeah, this is easy. Was this rock always here? I feel like they placed that rock to block the path, but it's not really blocking anything. Might just be one of those randomly generated rocks. This rock and those rocks there have been there for a while now. So if I can make it through here, what else do I want to test back here before I go to the town? Oh, we can test the mud uphill down here. And maybe I can even try going up to the mines, even though there's no concrete delivery to the mine. Oh, I can try going up to the new F1 construction site. I'm pretty sure the road there is easy though. Also, this thing has Jake brake. Oh yeah, it's here. Wait, what? Huh? Where's the road? Huh? What happened to the road? Where is it now? Oh wait, it's right here. I was thinking this path is the downhill, but right here. I was looking at that. Okay, it's right there. Got confused by the map. Yeah, there's not really much here. I think this place is gonna be the what's it called? Copper mines, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's the only new place here. So that's gotta be it. But I'm pretty sure people in the close test already know exactly where it is because they're already testing it. By the way, this road, this trail, very nicely done. I hope the rest of the trail to the town gets smooth like that because yeah, right here, this is horrible. This needs to be smoother. Actually, this isn't too bad. It is bad, but it's not too bad. And then you get here, which has some massive bumps around it for some reason. Other than that, it's also not too bad. But what happened to my Jake brakes? Thought I had it on already. This area could also do with a little bit of smoothing. And then you make it over here, where it's super bad. It's so bad that the grass next to it is a much better route to go through when going uphill. So back in the day, when when the Guangjin town was still very new, we could just drive our Mixis up the mud sections because these muds are not as bad as the mud from the path from the Namdang shortcut one. That's why the texture on this is different. It doesn't have as much resistance and it doesn't reduce your grip as much, I think. It's very steep up here though. Maybe I should take a different line or at least have more momentum. Or do I just need a lower gear? No, I don't have the grip. That's very steep though. Maybe the other side. I don't think I ever tested going up there in low speed back in the day. Because with Mixi, the only delivery is up this way. You don't go up that, you go down it. So back in the day, I could just drive up here, if I remember correctly. Maybe I should have started in low gear. It seems my first gear isn't strong enough. That might be something I need to change. I don't even know what my FDR on this thing is. Because this is a very old setup. Yeah, you can just make it up here very easily, as long as you don't go too slowly. I am very slow, but I'm still able to make it up. What else? I can try going up to the mines after delivering to the town. And by that, I don't mean delivering. No, I don't mean driving up to the mines empty, but rather grabbing another delivery, another 6 kiloliters of concrete for delivery. Oh yeah, did they change um the contracts for concrete yet? Because that needs changing. But I guess they haven't really made any update to concrete, so it would also make sense that they haven't changed that. Hopefully, when we finally get a new concrete mixer truck, they update the contracts for concrete. Because right now, I don't think I can do any of the contracts in with a single Mixi, and this is the only truck that can transport concrete. There's no trailers either. Speaking of trailers, there are tiny mixers. They could have made a mixer dinky, but for some reason they didn't. I wonder if the model is already made and they just didn't add it yet because they're saving all the concrete stuff to be added as one big update. The copper update that we're getting doesn't have anything affecting concrete, right? Yeah, because copper is not gonna be part of the concrete chain. The limestone update that we've gotten is part of the concrete chain, but limestone itself is not used for concrete. You first make cement, and then the cement is used for concrete. So I guess that also kind of makes sense why concrete still haven't been updated because it doesn't need to be updated to implement those new things. This area could use some smoothing as well. Also, there's a lot of places around here in the Guangjin mountains that I can put stuff in. Like, you can clearly see down there is an opening to have something here, like a mine. They could put up mines down here as well. There's a lot of places like that around the mountains here. Like over there as well. You can just flatten that a bit or just improve the surrounding shape of terrain to make it more drivable. And then here you have this opening on the side. Would be nice if recovery jobs spawn around here. Although I'm not sure how the spawning of the recovery jobs work around objects. Because there's a lot of rocks and trees in these areas, which would make the rescue job being there make more sense, but I imagine that's not gonna be easy to implement. I think there's still people finding rescue jobs on top of buildings even, and those are massive assets, objects around the map, and there's not as many of those compared to the small rocks that are here. So if the dev haven't even fixed that, then yeah, it's probably not gonna be any easier to add rescues around here where there's a lot more objects. Smaller objects, but still a lot more of them. Oh, what was that? There's a dip down there. Almost flipped over because of that. Yeah, there's a lot of open spaces around here. Well, open if not for the rocks and the trees and the bushes. Although the bushes, yeah, none of the bushes here have collision. So the bushes don't really count. Well, actually, if you count those as bushes, those have collision. Oh, oh, there's a massive bump over there. I was wondering why I'd be stuck down here. Oh, and my collision of the Mixi is actually, yeah, it seems that step down there has collision around it. Huh. So there's not as much front clearance as I thought. I don't think they ever resized the rocks in this game. I know a lot of the asset pack vehicles are oversized, but somehow the trucks are perfectly sized for these bridges. And this I have plenty of spacers as well, almost maximum spacers even. Oh, and here's another bumpy section. Hopefully the next update smoothed these sections. Also, I had a look at some of the. I happened to see some old patch notes, and some of them included um like vague information on which areas were improved. I don't remember what it is that I read, but it wasn't like the Jeju, no, not Jeju, the downtown update. It wasn't like that. It was some minor thing, but it was in the patch notes. So I don't know why they don't do that for every time they update an area. Because a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, but there's almost every update, a big portion of the map is updated, not just the new areas. And yet we're not even given any information about them. Like what the changes, what's the point of the changes at least? Or I guess the point is always to improve the area. But like they don't even say which area. Well, they don't even say anything. That's the main problem. They don't tell us which areas are updated, so we can't even give feedback on whether the update was good, whether other areas need the same update. Because there have been some areas that got updated for the worse. So the fact that we're not told which areas got updated means that some areas just end up worse for no reason. Mm, Nobody even able to know that an area actually became worse because they didn't tell us about the update. Speaking of, We'll be back. Stepped off for a bit because it was taking a while to reconnect. So, there's actually a concrete contract for 5. You can take that. 7,000. So that's 28,000. Oh, but then I also earn 8,000 bonus from the contract. So it actually paid for itself and gave me an additional 35,000. And that's even though I didn't have the maximum concrete value. Because I took from my single player world, right? And it was like 168% priority bonus. Because my concrete factory isn't completely full. Also, we have this storage place here for the town. Guangjin. Is there even a name for this place? Yeah, it's all just storage. Guangjin storage. But they didn't give us storage for concrete. Would have been nice to have storage here. Oh yeah, I need to refuel as well. So let's actually go here instead. And repair as well. I'm noticing understeer on this thing. And from the testing, the turning radius was changing depending on the speed. Very soft springs on this thing, by the way, because the stock springs were way too stiff. Yeah, I have maxed out the ARBs on all the axles. Mostly because the springs are super soft. And that adds stability. But the middle is softer than the front. I'm gonna have to retest this if I make changes, but I'm thinking if the middle is 80,